The Democrats and the media know that it's really only the House of Representatives that has the power to unearth all the shenanigans that they were up to during the last campaign, during 2016 and 17. And the more we peel this back, the more facts that come out, the American people are beginning to learn how corrupt this process really has been, and it's downright scary.
So that's the House Intel Committee Chair Devin Nunes saying that Democratic rebuttal released over the weekend does not amount to much. That's the case he makes as we get dueling memos, one from Nunes and one from Adam Schiff on the right and on the left. Texas Congressman John Ratcliffe serves in the House Judiciary Committee, former U.S. Attorney and federal terrorism prosecutor. Sir, it's good to have you today. I want to go through some things just so we can try and clarify this, all right? The Democrats are saying Carter Page he was known to have ties to Russia for a long time. The Democrats are arguing, look at this application, and that dossier was just a small part of what they were asking for. Did this memo take us to another place with the release on Saturday?
Well, Bill, as you know, I'm one of the few folks that have seen not just both memos, but the underlying FISA applications themselves. And so Carter Page does have some ties to Russia. He had been in contact with the FBI for quite some time. But none of that does anything to eliminate the obligation that the government had with respect to seeking a warrant to surveil him. Having reviewed the underlying applications, I can tell you that the dossier wasn't a small part. It was the central part of what was submitted to the court.
Okay, I just asked Byron York this question. It's my understanding the law doesn't require you to name names when you're arguing before this judge. Is that true or not? In other words, you can say it's political in nature, but you don't have to reveal which politician or which organization was helping put it together or even paying for it. Is that correct or not?
Yeah. Well, I heard you reference and Byron Source One and a U.S.-based law firm, and what the Democrats have been arguing is, well, masking procedures are appropriate, but they're confusing masking in intelligence reports with FISA warrant applications. And when you seek a warrant to surveil an American citizen, the judge should be told what the political biases or motivations are of the parties involved. So it would be appropriate.
And it might be in hindsight, but my point is the law doesn't require them to present that information, and therefore maybe the law is bad, correct or not?
No, I don't think the law is bad. The law is very clear that in an ex parte proceeding, the government has the duty of full disclosure for it to be clear and unequivocal and to disclose the good and the bad, the exculpatory information. So the lawyers presenting this on behalf of the government knew that they should relate to the judge the good and the bad about the case.
But if the judge didn't ask the lawyers, then maybe it's on the judge.
Doesn't matter.
Why does it not matter?
It doesn't, because you have the duty. You know what are the best parts of your case and the worst parts of your case. And the lawyers here knew that the dossier would be subject to scrutiny if the judge knew that it was paid for and commissioned by Hillary Clinton and the DNC. They should have been very upfront and disclosed that fact, because there was no one there to disclose that fact besides the government.
Which means that the court may be just a bad idea. You know, there's no one defending or arguing against what's before the judge, and that's the problem. That's the point I'm trying to make here. And if you had someone there, maybe they would drive home the point that this came from the DNC, for example.
You know, Bill, that's a great point. And one of the things that we've talked about in terms of potential reforms for the FISA court was maybe instead of an ex parte proceeding here, we have essentially a guardian ad litem. Someone from within the government, perhaps the Civil Rights Division, come in and represent the person who is to be surveilled and basically have the opportunity to present on behalf of that person these facts that we're now talking about that very clearly, Bill, were not disclosed. I got to tell you, Bill, having reviewed the underlying FISA applications with regard to Carter Page, by about page 3 of the 4 phone books worth of information I looked at, I was shaking my head saying, you know, it's very clear that Carter Page is no more likely a Russian agent capable of influencing government officials, the certification that they would have to make, than any Walmart greeter across America.
Wow. Interesting. April 1st, the Inspector General's report will be out, thereabouts. It'll tell us a lot. John Ratcliffe, thank you for your time. Hope you come back here.
You bet, Bill. Always good to be with you. Thanks.